In this video, I'm going to show you a bunch of functions that are related to rounding data values or rounding the values sitting in a vector. I'll start with the ceiling function. This is a function that essentially just rounds up, and so it rounded every one of these values in this vector x that I already loaded up to the next whole number. So negative 1.15 jumped up to negative 1, this 0.0 whatever jumps up to 1, and 10.22 jumps up to 11. There's another function that works in the opposite direction, the floor function, which basically rounds down. So that negative 1.15 goes down to negative 2, that 0 something goes down to 0, and the 10.22 goes down to 10. And then there's a final one that basically just drops the decimal places, the truncate function. And that's what it did. It dropped the decimal places. Now there's two more options in here. There's a round function where it'll round like you'd think. And what you can do is you can tell it how many decimal places you want it to round to. So maybe I want to just round to 1 decimal place. It defaults to 0. And so what I get here, if I look at this, I've got negative 1.15, and it's thinking 5 is halfway through. I'm going to go down to 2. Whereas here, I'm at 0. Well, that thing's not up very high, so I'm going to go down to 0. And the next one's 10.22. That's going to be a rounding down right there. Now, if I go to, I don't know, 2 decimal places with it, that 3 doesn't quite get me to the threshold to go down to 6, so I stay up negative 1.15. This next one's still just a bunch of zeros, and the next one, that 3 doesn't move me either, so I stay at 10.22. And then the last thing that gives me some information sort of about rounding is this one that's about significant digits, and a signif function, and I can just tell it how many digits I want to keep, or how many significant digits I want to keep, I should say. And it defaults to 6, so I'll just leave that in there, which I didn't actually have to type it, but there it is. And so the first two, it's just giving me about the first 6 digits of the numbers. And then this guy right here, it's ignoring all the zeros and working its way out to this part of it right here. And so it's giving me 3 point whatever, and it's giving me the scientific notation. That's what this little e here means, and it's going to jump me back 14 decimal places. Anyway, so those are some functions that have to do with rounding in R.